To introduce this video, we're going to start off with this point. We have upgraded requirement management in 2506 to make it easy to use, simplifying your user experience, and keeping you on the same page so you never have to leave your page to do your requirement work. Not only that, our goal here was to make it look and feel a lot like the other tools in the marketplace, Jama, Jira, Doors NG, where it's going to be a table UI, and as you operate in that table UI, everything you need to go look at comes to you instead of you leaving the page to go to it. And in that way, we even hide the fact that you're sitting on top of the PLM system if you're just thinking about doing your requirement work. So let's go ahead and proceed with the demonstration. We start off in the current UI, which is the rich client display on the right and the documentation tab and the tree on the left. So the cross-probing works in an improved way. Every time you select a lower element, it also now snaps to the top. It used to always snap to the bottom, so that's an improvement. I'm now tabbing up and down through the items using the tab key. I can also arrow up and down like in Microsoft Word, as you would expect. You can do that now, so you don't have to actually use your mouse to navigate. We can do control entries to be able to create children and siblings automatically. We've improved it so that you don't have to double-click the title word and edit. It's just a hint. Same thing with content. And Control-Z has worked for a long time too, until I save. Many customers have said, we don't even want to type in the word title. We want to just type in the text for the requirement and have that become the title. We've enabled that, and I'm going to now save the requirement by using Control-S. Yes, we can just use Control-S now, which is a huge improvement, and many customers are very happy about that. All right, those were some basic functionalities that we've added to improve the usability of the requirements product over the last releases from 2406 to 2506. Now let's go to the table view itself. So the way to do that is to go to the Doc tab pull down and switch and now select the new option, which is Table View. This brings up the table, which has a lot of the key properties with status indicators embedded directly on the page. You can even sort and filter in this new table view, which you could not do in the tree table because you have the tree blocking you. So I can filter to critical on the priority. I can also say I want those that also have one issue. You can see this works just like Excel. I can clear just like I would do in Excel as well. It brings me back to my normal. Now, I no longer need to have that ace tree on the left. Let's go ahead and hide it. That's a new feature. I can hide and remove that only when in the table, nowhere else. Once I hide it, I now have the table all to myself. It encompasses the whole screen. If I want to look at my Doc tab, you just hit the Show Doc tab command, and the Doc tab shows. Cross-probe works like you would have expected into the tree and back. The tree is actually still there, and it rides on top of that. We can turn off the Doc tab or just hit the Show Details, and I get my Details tab, so I can pick any area I want. So we didn't remove that from you. In fact, we made it more convenient. Now, what would you expect when I hit the Show Comments? You would like us to open the Doc tab for you and take you to the Comments UI, and that's what we do. We bring open the Doc tab, and the Comments is already turned on. So you can see the comments that are related to your selected requirement, and even see that the number matches the count in the table. We have the same behavior for the test. So we'll take you to the test results tab under the details window. And while I'm in the details tab, just as a reminder, we even show the parameters as a graph if it's an array amount of data, so I can look at why I failed the airspeed test there. I can turn that off now if I want to get back to my table and then decide what else to look at. Let's take a look at an issue. When I open up the Show Issues, I get a list of all the issues. Here is one case where there's enough detail there. We didn't bring that to you automatically. That's a separate window. I can look at the attachments. The attachments has a viewer, so if I had one or more, I would see one or more to pick, and I could walk through my attachments. The same thing goes for my trace link. This uses the existing panel, so it's just a quick way to bring it up for you, and now I can turn it off. If I want to look at my parameters, it shows below the table, just like the Doc tab would, and I can turn it off with the command up top, which brings me to my Show Trace Links. This is just like the rich client. I get complying and defining separated. We've had feedback the customers wanted to see that. And then finally, Show Relations gives me the relation browser or digital thread navigator. Moving to actions, or creating new things, I get the same behavior when I want to create a new comment. I get Doc tab and the comments window. I just select text, I type in my new comment, and then I either hit Control S or the Save button. I turn off the Doc tab when I'm done using it. If I want to create a test, I just hit the mouse over plus button. I get the Create Test UI. I could just fill in the name and then go ahead and create the test. You've already seen these, so we're not going to spend time in the test UI. We're going to create a new issue. We get the Create Issue panel. It's a subclass of change, so you see the Create Change, but then we fill in the synopsis, and we have now created an issue, and the count goes up. If I want to create an attachment, I hit the plus button under Attachments. I go ahead and use the UI for attachments that comes under the Detail tab. I can drag and drop one or more files, and then that shows up under my attachments list. I turn off Show Details again just to clean the screen, and if I want to create a trace link, I get the same trace link create panel that I've seen for many years. Now let's jump into the Submit for Review. I can now work with reviews without ever leaving the page. I don't have to go to the inbox, and instead of seeing the full-blown user selection panel that we use on our high-end workflow system, I instead see a nice, simple user selection panel where I can just go ahead and search for a username, select that name, and add it to the list of people I want to assign this to. So I've selected Ramira. I'm going to select Praveen, add Praveen to the list, and now go ahead and add Ed. And yes, you can do more intense filters to pick group and role, and now I can add Ed. I then just hit Submit. There's a preference for what workflow I have submitted, and it gets kicked off. I'm instantly shown that there are 3 people that have been assigned, and I can look at those people. I can see, oh, those are the 3 that are in review. And it's a joint panel here. I could actually approve or reject my task right away, but I wanted to show you that we've got another column here, which is my work to do. And so I can focus this column and filter it down to just the things that are assigned to me. You will see 3 blank. It's because I've already acted on those 3. These are the 3 I actually have work to do. I can enter on a simplified panel my action for the workflow review. Once I've approved that requirement, it immediately shows the up count of approved users. I can also see the rejected column reflect all of the rejected users for each requirement. So in summary, this is the new table-based UI for requirements. The goal here was to allow you to never leave the page and still get your requirement job done. You've seen how we bring all the data to you, except in the one case of looking at the issue details. Our goal is to continue to improve this release over release, but for now, you can look at your requirements. You can see a quick status of most of the properties that are there. You can easily even see counts. And finally, you can create new things with the mouse over plus button in most cases too. We hope you enjoy. Thank you for your time.